Hello students, I'm going to be introducing you to Module 8 today, and at the end of this week, which will be April 30th, your next exam is due. That means you can either upload all of these things that I'm asking for from you, or you can come to my office hour, not this Monday or Tuesday, but you can come the following week. But please send me an email to tell me when you're coming so I can be sure to be present in the office hour for you if you're going to come to my office hour to play these things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is on page 79, and this is the first week that we're going to be doing a C major scale. You've had scales before, but they were chromatic scales, and chromatic scales use every single note, and they move by half steps. But a diatonic scale, which is what we're going to do now, is a mixture of wholes and half steps. So there are different mixtures, and the major scale, which is what we're going to be learning, is the mixture that we're going to be talking about for the rest of this book. So first, before we play the actual scale, we're going to play it in tetrachords. That means we're going to be breaking the scale up into two halves. You're going to do one half of it with your left hand and one half with your right hand. So you can see in the middle of page 78 where it says that the tetrachord is a series of 4 notes. So I'm going to have, starting with my 5 finger, I'll put that on a C. Same thing with my right hand, I start with the 2 finger. Those are my tetrachords, but I can later put my tetrachords right side by side. And that's the complete C major scale. So the first half of the scale, the first tetrachord is star, whole step, half step. The other one is start, whole step, half step. So they're made up of 2 tetrachords that have the exact same order of wholes and half steps. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. Now, if you, on the bottom of the page are some little written exercises that you will need to fill in and upload for me for 10 points. So we're going to do these tetrachords. Now if I start with my left hand on the G, start, whole step, half step. Now my second tetrachord, start, whole step, half step. So if I use those wholes and half steps, I'm going to end up with an F sharp in there. And the key of G does have an F sharp. So I'm going to start on F with my left hand, start, whole step, half step. There's a black key. My other hand on C, start, whole step, half step. So my left hand is the hand that's going to end up having a black key. Song that we're going to play on page 79 is practicing these tetrachords. So it's going to go like this. Step up, step, 2, 3, 4. Step, 2, 3, 4. Octave higher because it says second time 8 VA. So I move my hands over to this next higher C position. Start, step up, step up, step up. 2, 3, 4. Start, step up, step up, step up, step up. 2, 3, 4. Start, step up, step up, step up, step up, step up, step up, step down to the same. Step up, 2, 3, 4. All right. let's move on. So now on page 80, we're going to practice doing the scale with just one hand instead of dividing it into two tetrachords. So since I'm going to run out of fingers, I have to have a place where I cross under to get enough fingers, or on the way back where I cross over so I have enough fingers to do the scale. So these top 4 lines are practiced in crossing under or crossing over. So I'm going to do exercise 1. I have start, step up, cross under, 2, 3, the same, cross over. I'll start on middle C with the left hand. Here I go, start, step down, slide it under, 2, 3, cross over. Okay, now I'm going to do number 3. Here we go. Start, step up, cross under, up 5. Then we'll start on the next note. Up 5. Up 5. And I'm going to keep doing that step by step until I get back to the C at the end. Okay, now number 4 is similar, but it's going to go down instead of up. So I'll start with my thumb on middle C. Start, step down, cross under, down 5. Step under, down, cross over. Now A, step down, cross under, down 5. Now on G, down, cross under, down 5. And you'll keep doing that all the way until you get down to C. After you've done those a few times, you're ready to do the C scale one hand. So I'm going to do the C scale with the right hand first, very slowly. Start, step up, cross the thumb under, then I have enough notes to go all the way up. Repeat, we're going back down. When I run out of fingers, I'm going to cross the 3-finger over, so I have enough fingers to complete the scale. The finger numbers are there in the book. Those are the correct finger numbers. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my left hand. I'm going to put the thumb on middle C. I'm going to go down. So here we go. Start, step down, cross under. The same step up, step up. Cross over to the 3. Okay? When you get good at that, you're ready to do both hands at the same time. So we're going to put both thumbs on middle C so that we'll be crossing under and over at the same time. This is called playing a scale in contrary motion. So I go 1, 2, 3, slide under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repeat the 5, 4, 3, 2. Cross your 3s over. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'll be listening to that on your test that will be due next week. All right, the other things I'll be listening to are Marianne. And we need to learn some things in order to play Marianne. We need to learn some left hand things. So we already know how to make a C chord. This is if we're in the key of C, this is also called a 1 chord, a Roman numeral 1, because it starts on the first note of the scale. There's also, we're going to learn the G7 chord. When I play the G7, I'm going to keep my thumb there, but my 2-finger is going to play the note right next to it, and my 5-finger is going to slide down, and then I can go right back to the C chord. So the thing that the chords have in common is that the thumb stays where it is. The thumb stays where it is, the middle finger steps up, and the bottom 5-finger slides down. So let's try to play 3-22 in the top of that page. So I'm going to have the C chord, 2, 3, the G7, 2, 3, to the C chord. Let's repeat that. Here we go. C, 2, 3, 4, the G7, 2, 3, 4, we're back to the C. All right, I'm going to play Marianne for you. We're going to be in C position, and we're starting on the 3 finger. 1, 2, here we go. 3, hold, skip up, 1, hold, skip up, the same step down, skip up, and we're tied, 2, 3, 4. 2 finger, skip up, the same, slide a little over to the B, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 5, 5, 1, 3, 3, 3, 2, 4, and it's tied, so keep holding, 2, 3, 4, 2, hold, skip up, slide your thumb over a little bit, step, skip up, the same, step down, the same, and keep holding it, hold, 2, 3, 4. So we have some ties. So you might want to go through, put a slash through the second note of each tie so you know to not play that note again. All right, I'm going to play the left hand by itself now. I'll start with my C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. C chord, 2, 3. Now the middle note of the chord, 2. Here's my G7. 2, 3, 4. 4. Step up, step up. Another G7. 2, 3. The top 2 notes of the G7. 3, 4. C chord, 2. Starting on the middle note, 3. Step up, step up. C chord, 2. Now the middle note. Here comes my G7. 2, 3, 4. 4. Step up, step up. Another G7. Now the top part of the G7. 2, 3, 4. C chord, 2, 3, 4. 3. Skip up, jump down. I like you to do at least 2 days of the hands separately. Don't even try to put them together. And it's best now that you start doing your scales and your songs with a metronome. A metronome is something that keeps the beat steady, and I want you to play your scales and this song at 80. So you'll find 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Keep holding. 2, 3, 4. So this will make sure that you don't hold any notes longer than they are supposed to be held. If you can't do it at 80 yet, start at a lower number and each day just kick it up another 2 notches until you work up to 80 by the time of our test. If you don't have a metronome at home, you can download a free metronome app for your phone. Okay, so I encourage you to do that so you don't get any marks down for not keeping the steady beat, okay? It's something that you'll use a lot in the future. All right, we're gonna play it hands set together so you can hear what it sounds. 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Stretch over on the right hand. Left hand, 4, 3, 2. Slide over a little bit. So the right hand is actually going to slide the thumb 1 note over 2 times in the position. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, we are going to skip page 82 in our book, and the other thing we're going to work on is page 83. So we already learned the C chord and the G7 chord back to the C chord. Now if you look at the middle of page 83 where it says 3-26, you'll see there's one more chord in the primary chord, There are 3 primary chords. The one on the first note of the scale, the one on the 4th note of the scale, and the one on the 5th note of the scale, which was G7. So the one on our 4th note of the scale is an F chord. You'll see these chords right at the top of the page, and they'll show you exactly what fingers to put on them. All right, so you'll see when I play my C chord and I move to the F chord, I'm going to keep my thumb the same, and I'm just moving the 3 and the 5 rather, over one note. So I have the C chord, I move them up 1 note, back, and then I play my G7 and come back. All right, when we did it with our right hand, I go to the next 2 up for the F chord, go back to the C, and then I play my G7. By the end of the week, I'd like you to try to do both of those hands together. So they're both on the C chord, they're both moving up for the F chord, they're both moving back to the C chord. Here's the G7, 2, 3, and back to C. It's a little time consuming to get that all coordinated. So in this book, we also have page 84, but we are going to skip that for now. So the things you're going to have to upload for me, you have to upload that page 78, the 2 written things that you're doing. And then for your quiz, I need the uploads of you recording your C scale, hands separately, and I need you to be able to play these chord progressions that are on page 83, and you need to be able to play the Marianne song, which is on page 81. Okay, so you can either come to my office hour and do it, or you need to have uploaded all those things by April 30th at 11:59 p.m. Okay, if you have any questions about that, make sure that you email me. We can set up a time for me to go over those with you. All right, have a good week. Bye.